Tonight, you'll flip a switch. Light will flood the room and you won't think twice. But for 99.9% of human history, that switch didn't exist. When the sun set, the world went dark. And something in you still remembers that. You feel it every night. That flicker of unease walking into an unlit room. That urge to check the corners before you relax. You call it silly, but the real answer is far stranger than silly. In 1897, psychologist G. Stanley Hall surveyed thousands of people about their fears. Darkness topped the list. Not spiders, not heights. Darkness. Hall noticed something curious. The fear wasn't about the absence of light. It was about the absence of information. What lived in that room with you when you couldn't see it? Here's the reframe. For roughly 2 million years, your ancestors slept and hunted in places where nightfall meant danger. Predators like leopards hunt at dusk. With night vision, your species never developed. Once the light dropped, your ancestors lost their best sense almost entirely and were left relying on hearing, smell, and guesswork. So evolution built the fear in before you were even born. Evolutionary psychiatrist Randolph Nesse calls this the smoke detector principle. A detector that only triggers during a real fire isn't good enough, because by then it may be too late. So we build detectors that go off for burnt toast for nothing at all. A false alarm costs almost nothing. A missed true alarm could cost everything. Your brain would rather have you flinch at a coat rack 1,000 times than fail to flinch once at a real predator. That's why the fear isn't really about darkness. It's about uncertainty. Notice how it fades the second you flip on a light, even though nothing in the room actually changed. Darkness is frightening because it's a blank space your mind is forced to fill in. And given a blank space, your mind doesn't fill it with nothing. It fills it with faces. In 2014, researcher Kang Lee and colleagues at the University of Toronto studied pareidolia, the tendency to see faces in random patterns. Brain scans showed a specific region constantly scanning for faces in visual noise, firing up more in low light and uncertain conditions. The darker the world gets, the harder your brain works to find a face hiding inside it. A face you imagine and its nothing costs 10 seconds of a racing heart. A face you fail to notice, and its something could cost your life. Here's the twist. You'd expect childhood to be the most fearless time. It's the opposite. Fear of the dark peaks between roughly ages 2 and 6, exactly when children are mobile enough to wander, but too weak to defend themselves. In ancestral environments, that was the highest risk window of the entire human lifespan. Even the shape of your fear has a shape for a reason. And notice what children actually fear in the dark. Not darkness itself, but something specific inside it. A monster under the bed, a shape in the closet. Every culture has some version of this. The names change, but the structure never does. Something is watching. Something is close. Something hasn't been seen yet. Now the modern mirror. There's no leopard outside your window. Your door has a lock. Your street has lights. You are safer at night than any human who ever lived before you. And yet, you still check the closet. You still hesitate on a dark staircase. Your pulse still ticks up crossing an empty parking lot after dusk. That old alarm doesn't know your address changed. It only knows one thing. It's dark, and I can't see what's out there. That single sentence overrides every fact you know to be true. This is also why horror movies work at all. Filmmakers don't need real monsters. They just withhold information. A door left open, a hallway trailing into black, a sound with no source. Your ancient alarm fills in the blank for free, with whatever you fear most. You're not scared of the movie. You're scared of the same landscape your ancestors were, replayed on a screen with the oldest trick your brain has ever known. So next time you flick on a light without thinking, or feel that flicker walking into a dark room, notice it for what it is. Not weakness, a message sent from an ancestor who never met you, but kept every person before you alive long enough for you to exist at all. Tonight, when the sun goes down, you'll flip a switch, and for one small, quiet moment, you won't just be turning on a lamp. You'll be answering a warning that's been ringing since before your species had a name for fear at all.